Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to go over the current forecast for tonight into tomorrow morning over our snow chances for Georgia. So we're going to go ahead and look at it now. To start off with, the National Weather Service of Peachtree City has issued a winter weather advisory for tomorrow. This time frame goes from 3 a.m. to noon Sunday. This is where we think the best chance for winter weather will be possible. Freeze watch. Okay, this is the current look at the radar. We currently have this last little bit of showers that are starting to push through this area with our first cold front of the day. Later on tonight, we'll have our second cold front push through with more cold air, which would give our chance for a winter weather potential. So let's stop holding off and let's go ahead and get into the models. Well, first off, this was another graphics from the National Weather Service I think they're based out of Oklahoma. They currently look through everywhere and does their forecast. They currently have majority of Georgia in a mixed precipitation forecast, meaning they don't quite know what we're going to get, but they know we're going to get somewhere between freezing rain to light or heavy snow. And we'll show you a couple scenarios in just a minute. If we go ahead and go to the GFS is one of the long-range model runs. And now that we're in the short range, we're starting to tune it off some just because we have better, more reliable ones, but we don't do it completely yet. As we move through tonight, you will start off with some basic rain. This will set up the stage for our winter weather later on. In the last couple model runs, we've really had a tick north with moisture, the overall cold air, and the location of this. So as we move through the hours, this is valid at 12Z, so this is closer towards 2 o'clock in the morning, because the GFS is on a little faster page. You have all this light blue, which is usually light snow on a scenario. And then as you get darker, that's heavier. With, of course, the pink being freezing rain. As you move through, you have some heavier snow totals pushing through. Do we quite know what this is going to do quite yet? Not exactly. It's just something we're monitoring. What the GFS shows, but it shows it moving through and then clearing out by about noon Sunday. So your church plans may be interrupted due to frozen precipitation, but we're watching it. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some snow totals of what the GFS shows, which is something I've been putting off for a while now because it's been such a large variety of what it could be. The GFS currently shows through central Georgia anywhere from about 2 inches to about 4 is the GFS range. Do we personally think that? Not sure yet, and I'll talk about my ideas of where we think we're going to be at the end of this. If we go ahead and go towards the Euro is another long-range model run that we used as a more reliable thing. It starts off with the day with some mixed rain, maybe a little sleet throughout the day or throughout the night Sunday or Saturday, throughout the night Saturday, mixes in, and throughout the night hours as we start to head through Sunday morning, it starts mixing into a more of a snow format with some heavier spots in between in south central Georgia. But it has the overall same idea. Rain through central Georgia and parts of South Atlanta that will slowly mix into some snow over the overnight hours as expected, because I'm going to show you some temperature runs from the National Weather Service showing us just at that freezing mark with wind chills way in the 20s. I'm going to go ahead and show you the snowfall totals for Euro and telling you what it has in mind. Euro is more of a down player. Full. The Euro shows about a half of an inch to an inch of snow. I think it's going to be a little more than that if it sticks. the first question is, will the snow stick? Will the ground be cold enough overall for it? And we are still working that out currently. I'm hoping to have a better idea by about 6, 7 o'clock tonight. Hopefully. And then on the other hand, here is the NAM. The NAM is more of a short range, high resolution model run that tends to over amplify some things, but it's always a good resource to look for a high end scenario. As you start moving through the night, you have some scattered rain chances moving through central Georgia at about 6 p.m. tonight. As we keep working our way up, it starts pushing through Atlanta, which gives Atlanta and North Georgia little snow flurries here and there. Not enough to accumulate, but as we get through the hours, it starts to become a large coverage area, meaning most of central Georgia will have some type of rain currently. As we head through the overnight hours, as we get into about 3 to 6 a.m., we start getting this very heavy snow to start falling over central Georgia, including Macon, Warner Robins, and just south of Atlanta. So, I just want to state that if anything falls, it will be more of a wet snow. It's not going to be like last year about this time. Last year it was 6 days sooner, I think, where we had this very dry snow, which was rare in the south. This is going to be more of a wet snow because we're starting off with rain potentially. But it moves through, brings some heavy rain, maybe a little freezing rain just south of Houston County into Crawford, I think. But brings some little freezing rain, which is always a possibility. We don't know if there's going to be freezing rain or not. Or sleet is always a potential too. Whatever this sharp cutoff where temperature gradient is where that best chance for freezing rain and sleet is going to be. But as we move through, it kind of starts to move out of our area at about 10, 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon Sunday, just after church starts wrapping up. If we go ahead and just take a look at some totals from the Euro. This is what the Euro has. The Euro has anywhere from 3 to 4 inches of snow with some localized spots hitting 5 or 6. This is another big one. The Euro is the one that this ain't the Euro. The NAM is the one that predicted our last snowstorm a little more accurately here in Georgia. It predicted 6 inches, as most models did 1 or 2, and the National Weather Service also showed 1 or 2 inches. And look, at the end of that snowstorm, we ended up getting 6 inches. And this is kind of where that scenario is also. National Weather Service is thinking from a half of an inch to an inch of snow accumulating. Well, a lot more model runs are starting to show that now, being heavier than an inch. So it's just something we're going to monitor. If we go ahead and take a look to the HRRR, which is still running its current runs, so we can't see the full thing quite yet. We will this afternoon when I do another update. As we look here, we got some snow popping in within the next, or not snow. Woo! We have some rain popping up in the next 8 hours in our forecast by about midnight. It moves through, it starts becoming a little more widespread at about 5 a.m. on Sunday, before moving through, continuing to be widespread about 10 o'clock, and this is the full end of the run. What I could probably predict from this run is you're starting to see snow over here in this area. It's going to start to widely take coverage throughout the whole area where this moisture is. That's the idea behind that. And of course, because we're not fully through the run, I don't know, or I can't show you the snow totals from the Euro. And if I go back, I don't think we have one for this one either. Okay, this one goes a little further out, but it gets the same idea across. Your snow covers will start to take up. This one goes 2 hours more, or this one goes 2 hours out further than the other one, the other HRRR. But it goes a little further out and just covers a little more of Atlanta with snow. Do I think all the way to Atlanta is going to get snow? No. It depends on where this moisture pops up. And if I actually go back to the GFS, what I'm going to show you is is the model trends from last night. We go ahead and go to this one. I'm going to go ahead and show you what the trends have been. This was the last run. Current run, last run. This was 3 runs ago. You see how far south it was? It was all the way in South Georgia. Maybe I can do... No, that one, it ain't close enough at that time frame. What is that? As we get closer and closer over the last couple of hours last night, it has trended more and more north. And this is the case for all models. This is what happens with snow forecasting. It always has a northwest trend. Always. This goes for the same thing with the Euro, which I will show here once I find it. This was 4 runs ago. See, way down here in the south. As we get closer and closer over the last couple hours, it has done a lot of trending northwest. So that's what we're going to look at. Same thing with the NAM. I'm not going to show... There we go. For the last couple hours, the NAM has kind of stayed in the same spot, actually. It's just gotten more clear of what it wants to do. Now what I'm going to do is look at another very high-res, more of a winter-style model. This is called the RRFS, and it has a really good grasp of overall thing. Its thought is, as rain starts moving in the forecast, it could be more of a sleet or freezing rain to start off with than actual rain itself. Which is a better idea, saying we're going in the overnight hours, so anything after midnight, we're already closer to freezing. So instead of just rain, it could be more of a sleet. But as we go through the next couple hours and into the early morning hours, that sleet starts to mix into heavy snow, which is what it likes to do. And I'm going to show you another one. This one's going to be more radar simulated, high res, better idea one, maybe. Yeah, here he goes. It has a lot of this rain. It doesn't quite think there's gonna be as much sleet there, but it shows the heavy snow potential. And like I said, this is not the only one. If I go back to the NAM, it shows the same thing, heavy snow. Go to the HRRR, the other one, and go to the max to the very end of its run. It's starting to get that look. We'll know in a couple hours if it does. The GFS, if we go here, it has that look very well. Really, really dark, heavy snow. GFS has overdone it probably, but it's a good idea. If we look here, the Euro kind of has the same idea, though the Euro is extra long range, so you can't see as well. But it's that. Another model that we have is the Icon model. It kind of has the same idea, just not as much snow. It thinks a lot of it thinks that the cold air is not going to make it in time, which is kind of an outlier at this time with all these other models coming in agreement. So we're going to do that. I also want to point out, I don't actually have that map here and ready. I don't think I can pull it up. But the 13WMAZ's graph model, which is their localized news station model, is also showing the same thing. If we go here, they probably added it to their video, hopefully, underneath it. Maybe. How old is this video? No, this was from last night, I think. Okay, yeah, this was from last night. So I don't have the most up-to-date one of the graph, but it shows the same idea. It also has a northwest tick and kind of looked more like the NAM, honestly. It showed heavy rain and then it slowly mixing to more of a snow. They will provide updates on their graph model throughout the day and stuff. Another thing I want to point out is a lot of people are about the temperatures. A lot of people are saying it will not be cold enough to snow. But they're not looking at everything together. It does not have to be below freezing to snow here in the south. It doesn't have to be below freezing in the north, though it usually is. All it takes is to be around freezing, heavy precipitation, and some wind. And boom, you have it. Heavy precipitation is going to bring this cold air down from these other atmospheric levels, and it's going to mix and cool down our temperatures more really fast. And that's the idea behind it. That's what the National Weather Service is thinking. Sort of. But it shows, if you see here, I'm going to be over this. I know you can't see it well, so maybe if I can zoom in some. Over here throughout these blue bars, we're currently sitting at temperatures about 34, 32, 31 degrees as we go into 8 a.m. So like I said, this is showing anything snow after 5 a.m. and between 12 o'clock. But it shows our temperatures being about freezing at 32, 33 degrees, but it has our wind chills at 26. So overall, the wind will be so cold that it will freeze, with winds up to 15, 16 to 20 mile an hour, which is just 10 mile an hour under blizzard conditions, honestly. And that's surface wind, by the way, y'all. We're 10 to 15 miles per hour under what they would classify as blizzard. So it's just something to monitor. This is a post from Alex Forbes up there at Fox 5 Atlanta News that he made for his district to show, which is a great example. This was updated at 9 o'clock this morning. Okay, the camera is freaking out. Okay, there we go. Right here we have what this lighter blue is less than an inch, is what he's thinking. And then over here in this dark blue that gets just cut off, this is where he thinks that there's going to be more than an inch. I'm going to turn off the camera because it's freaking out for my webcam. I had to look at that by tonight. But it shows more than an inch. And that's where he's thinking that it's going to line up like I just showed you. So it's a lot to break down. I don't have my full snow forecast yet. Let's just pop up something. There we go. I don't have my snow forecast yet. But if I have to put a number, which I'm going to solidify this number at about 9 o'clock tonight when I do my final forecast update before the event, I'm thinking anywhere from 2 to 4 inches is what I really think is possible tonight. We will see. We'll come back to this tonight, see what the model runs do throughout the day, and make our final forecast before we start doing our live forecast by the hour. I also want to say that I will most likely be live during the event, showing radar footage, live cameras, photos, and all that for our event. So come join by if you're awake at between 5 and 12 o'clock. That's all I have for you, and have a wonderful day.